Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dope as Usual podcast. I am Thomas, Dope as Yola, whatever you want to call me. I'm here with Marty O'Neill.
What's up?
What's up? We had to leave the F words out because YouTube said, stop cussing so much in the intro. All right? That's basically what the email is. Like, yo, heavy cursing. Not a good look. So,
for all the advertisers
for all the
out there,
advertisers, for the first 30 seconds, we'll be
folks
super.
doing today?
We'll be nice. We'll pretend like the teacher's here. It's been about 30 seconds. Hey, fuck you, kid. That's how I'm like, oh, the teacher says, hey, you're a bitch. So, here we go. It's the first 30 seconds over. We'll do the 10-minute nice guy clock just to be safe. And we'll get down to it. I will start what we're going to be talking about. This episode was about to be completely different. We'll do the episode still. Mm-hmm. Marty's wife, April, was supposed to do the episode yesterday. But some shit happened, which caused this whole thing to change. So, get ready. We're both not sure where this is going. There's no notes. That is off.
We weren't even planning on doing this at all. We were gonna miss we were gonna have to miss
yeah, we were about to miss an episode for Monday, but then Marty calls me last night and says, hey, how about we just do this? So this is the episode today. Friday night, we're planning the April episode. Mm-hmm. Saturday morning, I'm hitting up Marty. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Well, I wanted to come in and do this today just because I feel like I have about 20 years worth of shit to get off my chest behind the shit. And
you weren't going to ever talk about it, too.
Yeah.
We're really open. There's stuff Marty does not talk about because, like we always say, certain people are alive, certain people might go to jail. It gets hard. So now that you can talk freely, which is not like a cool thing, it's not like super stoked.
I just know there's a lot of kids out there that's
exactly
go through similar shit and might help them navigate it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my mom died yesterday. That's the big fucking event, pretty unexpectedly. So I woke up to that call about 6 a.m.
You already awake?
No.
Yeah,
I was
Saturday.
Sleeping. Yeah. So, it's a long story that could take up a whole podcast because it's like her story is just very unique and there's a lot that I haven't been able to talk about, like we said, kind of like my whole life though. Not just, there's shit that literally I've only talked about to you and April.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So, but yeah, my mom was awesome though. Like just off top till I was, throughout my whole childhood, she was responsible for me having an awesome childhood. Like I always say, like just simple, like for the most part. Because there was also this layer when I was like 16 that I went and stayed out for a couple of weeks with my cousins in Detroit. And that was the time.
Or for the lead up.
Yeah.
Your mom is the golden mom until you're about 16.
Yeah.
You go visit your family.
As far as I knew. Yeah. She was great. Like I said, it was just us. It was so simple. It was just the three of us. Nothing. I didn't go through anything traumatic in my childhood, all like that. Like it was fucking just real simple. We didn't have money or anything, but I always had what I needed and it was fine.
Yeah.
It was normal. It couldn't be more normal and just regular. And that's all you can fucking really ask for because that just puts me in position to be a successful person.
Of course.
If that's who I'm going to be. Because I didn't have a bunch of baggage like a lot of people do from their childhood like that.
Yeah. And your dad is still alive at this point, 16, right?
Yeah.
Your dad has when you were 20?
When I was like 22.
22.
Yeah. So when I was 16, I went to Detroit. He was real sick, and they were like, my cousins were in town, I think, or maybe they just came and got me, and they were like, you can come hang out for a couple of weeks, and it was fucking awesome. It was amazing, actually. It was like the best time of my life because they let me drive their cars and shit. It was my same cousin that had given me the computer, but this was before that.
Oh, this is pre-Drastic Graphics Spark.
Yeah, it was that happened when I was like 19. This was like 16.
Got you.
So, Yeah, they took me to an Eminem concert. Eminem,
Detroit?
G-Unit, Kid Rock, Missy Elliott.
I remember that tour.
Yeah, no, it was a one night
Wait,
only.
I thought Kid Rock did stuff with Eminem before.
He probably did, but this particular show was a one of
I
one.
remember Kid Rock with the rappers went.
Yeah.
Okay.
The shit was epic. You can imagine. Downtown Detroit.
Hell yeah, they just pick you up.
My cousin, she's cool. Like, I knew my cousin when I was younger. She was a little bit older than me, but then, like, we're going to talk about throughout my adolescence, I didn't really have a lot of touch with her, in contact with her. So it was, like, even better because they're, like, my younger but older cousins who I knew when I was little. Like I said, my first cassettes were All Eyes on Me, Crazy, Sexy, Cool. That was her giving it to me. Her brother's the one who gave me the computer.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, like,
your cousins that you wish you grew up with.
yeah, they were great. They lived in Detroit though. After I was, you know, they moved there after I was like 5, 6 or 7 years old or whatever. But she kind of like put some news on me that just fucking impacted the rest of the course of my life. I'm glad she did, but it also put me in a fucked up predicament because I think this was when I saw Pulp Fiction for the first time. Her ex-husband showed it to me. And I think it was actually after the Eminem concert. That same fucking night, I'm pretty sure.
It changed your whole life.
Yeah. We're back at her house and shit, and she's like, you know, your grandfather was a real, like, creep, right? Like, and she started going down this whole path of all this horrible shit he had done to her and all my relatives. And
Your mom's dad.
yeah. Yeah. And it kind of made some sense as to why the dynamic of my family was all
Was
weird.
he alive at this time?
No, he died when I was 7.
Oh, so you didn't really remember him?
Not really. I was a little kid. He was old. But she put all this news on me and then was like, but you can't say anything. Don't say anything.
And your mom never brought this up ever?
No, I had no clue that any of this happened.
To your grandpa before?
But from the time I was little until the time he died, I was over there almost every day.
With him?
Yeah. I basically lived there for like, I was there almost every day of my life.
So everything was just fine? Nobody just pretend like it never happened?
Mm-hmm. That, I think in a lot of families, a lot of shit like that goes untalked about. Or I don't know because this is what hasn't made sense to me. This is the crux of the problem.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, she like, I guess at his funeral went up to her mom and like said something to her. And then literally from that point, never talked to her again.
After the funeral?
And removed me completely from that whole aspect of my family. Something happened at his funeral that she literally wrote off her whole family for life and literally took it to the grave. But that, you know.
She never went and talked to your grandma again?
She never talked to her again.
Your grandma's still alive today?
Yes. She just found out about this.
Because this happened yesterday. Dude, this whole day has been very weird and long.
The shit has
I've
been
talked to you
very
like 40
fucking
different
weird
times
and-
is why
Yeah.
I think.
You're the only person I talked to. I really appreciate everybody that reached out yesterday on Instagram and people that I know from Buffalo and shit. My family. Yeah, so anyway, at that same time, my dad was really super sick. Like I was talked about, he kept having these stints where we thought he was going to die.
And you're back at 16.
Yeah.
And 7 was the funeral. Mm-hmm. Never saw your cousins again until 16.
Yeah. But it wasn't like, it was never a verbal thing. I just
kind of went away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of like, I had no clue that any of this was happening until my cousin told me all this shit.
When you're 16, basically an adult.
Yeah. I was dealing with my dad at that time. It was like a new kind of thing, but it was real bad in terms of like just what he was going through and how the dynamic in my house. But, you know, after a while, it was so up and down for so long that it like took a horrible toll on her. By the time I met April, things were starting to get weird.
With your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you told me a few things. I feel like we went over it. Your mom is super obsessed with your dad.
Yeah.
Like
her
soulmate shit. Like she loved your dad so fucking much.
Yeah. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. So when he was getting sick, she started getting fucked up.
Yes.
Was it like a pill thing or just a mental thing?
It was both.
Okay.
Watching him go through what he was going through, she had her own physical issues she was dealing with that she had like pain meds for.
Gotcha.
We had probably the highest level pain meds you could have in our house for years. So I think she probably had a pretty serious thing going with the pills. And like in the way that people embrace like Jesus and like a religion, she was like that, but with like Reiki and like metaphysical shit too. She considered herself like a healer and like a damn near like a
I find it
psychic.
crazy we've never talked about this before because we couldn't. But I think it's so wild that your mom was so like committed to that energy shit that she was into.
She would have swore she was a professional healer. Like she didn't actually practice it, but like that was who she was. She was like my whole childhood.
Your mom was a hippie.
Yeah.
And your dad was too, though.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. But, you know, my whole childhood was very much like her all over him and him like kind of just like, it was him and his guitar. Like he was just very neutral, but her whole identity was being his husband. She was like, or his wife, with him being a musician. Like,
well, that makes sense now that I know your dad was so fucking well known for being a famous musician. She was just in awe, I think, right?
Yeah, she just was totally fine just supporting him, doing whatever. She worked like at a bunch of different jobs. You know, it was never, she didn't have like a career. It was just, she didn't care about that really, you know? But she was also somebody that always gave me really great advice. There was advice she gave me growing up, like, watch that fucking kid.
Oh, really?
Like, and I would be like, what? Please, you like, and then I would always end up realizing like, damn, she was right. How'd she see that?
Told me about this before.
Yeah, she was like, me and her were super close. For not as close as me and my dad were, I couldn't help but tell her everything that was going on in my life. I remember like in high school and shit. For the most part, you know. Then I started getting a little bit older, and then you start kind of, I don't know if it's every kid or you start living like a double life between who you are in front of your parents and who you actually are.
Every single
kid.
Mm-hmm. Like two.
Yeah.
That don't.
But you know, I got out of the house pretty early at 19, 18, you know, when I met April. And right around that same time, April, even off the bat almost, was like, something a little off with your mom. I'm like, no. But after a couple months, I was like, there is something off.
Yeah.
I was starting to be an adult, and she was like dealing with everything she was dealing with. And she just started being real loopy, and it was hard to have a real conversation with her. And it became very just superficial of just whatever she wanted to talk about, basically. And yeah, because she would talk to you as if you believed exactly how she did.
Because you got to remember, she has been her whole life this healer of non-pharmaceutical, and now she's getting on pills. That must have fucked
and like
her.
Nothing's working for my dad, really. I mean, it is because he didn't like
die right away.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's somebody that's always looking for a literal like explanation of why, like everything happens to a reason, to the point that when bad things happen, she takes it super personal. I was like that too for a while. I had to think my way out of that. It, like she would like, and then let me make sure I'm keeping this on track here. So
16, she tells you what's going on. You come back home and go.
And my mom was so fragile.
Did you bring it up to her?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, fuck no. I couldn't bring up anything to her. Early on, April's like, why can't, like, we don't have normal conversations really. I act different in front of her. There's just this elephant in the room that was starting to form of how horrible it was what my dad was going through and how she was like going off the deep end. And very early on, I was like, because she would do certain shit, and in a normal relationship, you would like talk about it. But I'm like, trust me. We don't want to go off track with this. Trust me.
1950s family.
Yeah. I was trying to navigate. I just thought she was just so like delicate and so like at her fucking breaking point.
Yeah.
That it became a very different relationship over the next couple of years than I had growing up. And when that whole situation with Jamel happened, she really took his side in the shit. Yeah. And I remember in slow motion getting back, cops are there at Ariana's birthday party, like I told you, and her like defending him and shit. Like he had her all wrapped up in his shit and like playing both sides of the fence. And
But he thinks he's in the right, so it's not like he's being a devious
she
fuck.
was feeling that way too. They were both together, not liking me starting a family. She wanted me to like,
because your dad's
yeah. But even like after he died, I was like, why don't you let us move in to the, I was ready to, we were going to move into his old studio. It was attached to her house. She said no. So we went and stayed in New Jersey for a couple months and shit. And then we came back and stayed with her and, you know, in my dad's old studio and shit. But April couldn't be more fucking amazing to her. Period. I can't stress that enough. She's better to her than I was a lot of the times. April,
it happens that way though. When somebody doesn't, when your other, like your spouse, like your exact thing. Like when me and my mom first started talking again, Rosie, you just have to take over conversations while I'm just like, I don't fully trust you yet. So,
yeah,
you know,
it was kind of like that.
It has to take over just to make it, like we said, to humor the person so they don't freak the fuck out and leave.
Yeah. And then I started just really resenting the fact that she had this whole aspect to her where the main thing was like, she would never, ever consider the notion of going to therapy. She should have been in therapy since she was a kid. We should have both been in therapy since I was a teenager. She should have been in therapy beyond me being a teenager, extensive, intensive therapy, counseling. She would fucking laugh at the idea of doing that. Like she had an ego. I don't know if it was ego, but it was just like, if I were to bring it up, when I brought it up to my aunt a couple of days ago, like she fucking laughed. Like she would never consider. And she would also really, really vengefully hold grudges. So it was like a front, and I hated that or like her email signature was "Peace begins with me." It was always this, peace that, but she held a grudge.
Told me this.
Yeah, that was like her whole front facing. If you met her, she'd be great. After talking to her for a little while, you'd be like, there's a little something off. But if I saw her get wrapped up in like my family's issues.
So she never, ever talked to them again?
Some of them. She never talked to my grandma again. She never talked to some of her sisters again. You know, she ended up like reconnecting with like two of my aunts kind of down the line as time went on.
Okay, so 22, your dad passed away. You move to California at what? 2 years later?
Yeah, 2 years later.
And your mom stays?
At first. So we had this horrible thing of drama, the whole situation we talked about on my last episode that happened right before we left. And it really had me and her in deep turmoil. And that was the first time that I let her know that I knew all that shit.
You told her?
Yeah. Because Jamal was spreading these really horrible, fucking disgusting rumors throughout my family. And I went over there and it fucking killed me. Like she's sitting there. We're all mad at each other over fucking nothing. Literally.
Yeah.
All this shit is over and fucking nothing. And I just put it all out there. And she was like, to see her fucking sobbing, crying, and sitting there talking about the shit was everything I always wanted to avoid.
Brought it up.
She acknowledged it. And she just acknowledged like that she really blamed her mom and she blamed like
of course your
all this shit. Too. None of my other family like holds this resentment, but my mom had this horrific resentment. But then that morphed into resentment for me because I'm like, well, then why the fuck was I over there my whole life?
Exactly.
And that was a question I never got to ask because I don't think she could have handled it. Because there was times, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You brought it up to her. That's where we're at right there. Then after that.
Yeah. So things got a little better after we addressed all that. I don't know why that came out in that time. That was a couple months before we moved. And then we had a falling out as I was moving to California because we tried to have this big ass garage sale to sell all of our shit. And it took us fucking 3 weeks to get all our shit organized and, you know, labeled and all the shit ready for the garage sale. We go to do the garage sale and it's fucking pouring rain out. So we don't sell any of our shit. Maybe some of it. We sold some on Facebook. It was a fucking massive ordeal to pack up to move to California. Just leaving behind one of our cars, all the shit. So she ended up getting all butthurt about us leaving behind some shit in the garage. And one of my cousins ended up handling it. You know what I mean? He took the shit or whatever. It was toys and clothes. But as I was moving out here, me and her were at some stupid fucking odds for the first couple of weeks of me being out here. And then we got back on the phone and kind of reconnected a little bit. It was over nothing, so it was fine. And then after about a year, she moved out here too.
Oh, and then lived with you guys for how long?
Well, she lived like in Santa Ana in an apartment. So she had her own life out here. She lived out here for a couple of years.
Oh, she was doing her healing and shit out here?
No, she never actually did that professionally. She had like cubicle jobs and shit. But she fucking hated working. Like when my dad was sick, I don't know how she did it. She would take off for fucking years at a time.
Years?
Literally between her back pain and whatever she had going on and like his stuff. I don't know how she fucking finagled it. She would get big, long stretches of time off and still be working for the job. She just like, I don't know. That's just always that's how it was, at least after she got.
So she wasn't around you guys? She would just leave?
What do you mean?
She would leave for years at a time?
No. Off her job, like on like work leave.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she was just home, but she would keep her job. Like I don't know how she did that shit. But when she moved out here, she started kind of doing that shit again to her fucking job she was working. So that became, but it was cool. She had a life. All I wanted for her was to have a life of her own again, because when he died, like there was weeks and months after he died that I thought she was going to commit suicide. She was doing a bunch of weird shit. She was going to like Niagara Falls and having fucking seances and shit with her friend Elaine.
You tried to talk to him.
Yeah, they thought they were talking to him. They really thought they were
They might have been, bro.
I don't fucking know.
Fucking know. Your mom might have been on some shit.
But let me keep going with this. So, but it it didn't feel fucking healthy at all. It felt like
off the deep end.
Yes. So she had Elaine, her friend Elaine was the reverend for our wedding.
For your wedding?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, we didn't know who we were going to get. We don't go to church or anything. So we're like, yeah, she can do it. She's your friend. That's fine. She's like sanctioned or whatever. Mid-wedding, she started fucking freestyling. Mid-ceremony, she started using...
Her friend?
Yeah.
You never told me this.
Yeah, she did. She's like...
She started freestyling.
going off the fucking beaten path of what you do at a wedding. She was like, as we're saying our vows, she's like, I wed thee troth. She said something about a troth in the vows. Mid-vow, me and April both like, fuck. Okay, we said it. I wed my troth. And then like the ceremony went out and she's like, okay, now we're going to do the rings. And she's like, Jamel. And Jamel pulled out these fucking like hula hoop things that were like intertwined with each other. And Jamel's standing there like, yeah, he didn't know what the fuck. And it was just this shit she added in without letting us know. And then afterwards she was like, she literally said, I think I was channeling April's grandmother.
Stop
with
it.
This old time language that just came out during the ceremony.
Stop. That's we were your like, mom's friend?
This is her best friend. This is her only friend. This was a friend she added on when I was like, I don't know, 18, 19.
I see your mom being more like Miss Lippy from Billy Madison with the things, but super nice.
Yeah, she was like, she looked normal.
That's how I feel.
If you were to
like a
talk
normal
to
lady,
her,
but
she
like
would seem
doing the clicks and shit.
But there was something. So
her friend ruined your fucking wedding?
No, she didn't. I don't want to make it seem like that.
I know,
it was just fucking weird, and we laughed about it.
Ruined your fucking vows.
So then, all right, let me keep this going here. So just keep that in mind. That was basically her only friend, her friend Elaine. Like,
so they both think that they can levitate and shit.
Basically, they think they have special, like telepathic fucking powers, which also pisses me off because it's like, all the shit we're going through, you want to sit here and act like you know? Nobody knows. I'll only sit here and be cool with you acting like you know to a certain fucking point because nobody really knows. You can't talk to me like you literally for sure know what's going on in the afterlife and expect me to just accept that.
This is what you were dealing with?
Yeah. Yeah, but in a weird, loopy fucking kind of way. And she was still so
I feel like this is a weird
fragile.
Sitcom, bro.
So now, let me keep this going.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is a quick break from this super fucking intense episode. Marty and I are introducing a new sponsor to the Dope as Usual podcast. This is mybookie.com. MyBookie, yes, exactly what you're thinking is what it is. This is an online gambling site. For everyone out there that does online gambling, online roulette tables, card games, they have that. So this is not just for sports, but for all you sports people out there, let me get into this next part. Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul. We all know about Jake Paul and all that, but he's got a chin. All right. So far, he's doing pretty good. So for all the people, all the naysayers or all the pro Jake Paul people, this is the time to place your bets. Dope as Usual podcast has teamed up with MyBookie, and we're giving you a code. The code Dope as Usual will let you double your initial deposit up to $1,000. When it comes to odds or prop bets, MyBookie has the best odds for the Woodley and Jake Paul 2 fight. As I said earlier, if you want to take a bet on this, you can use our code, and it lets you double your deposit up to $1,000 for this fight. MyBookie's slogan is bet anything, anytime, anywhere. So for all you fools out there that are just constantly betting with your friends, get online and use our code. So big shout out to MyBookie, mybookie.com for being part of the Dope as Usual podcast. Back to the episode.
So she has her own life in California. She has a job and she's being a great grandparent. Every weekend she's taking Ariana to go hang out at her apartment and they're doing grandparent kid shit. Beautiful. Mind you, I've been cut off from my whole family. My kids don't have interaction with my side of the family. Literally only April's side.
It's not like you're like, why didn't you just go talk to him? It's weird when you haven't talked to him in 20 years and you're like, let's be friends.
And they all have this weird relationship with her, so
you're the kid of the
they don't want to have her set off on some fucking vendetta against them, is what I realized later on also.
Shit.
Not to mention, my aunt and uncle invented screen printing. They would have been
doing
great for you
the
to work coolest shit you could imagine.
Summer job right there.
All the Super Bowls, all the huge concerts, all the coolest shit. Like they had a mansion, you know. It would have been cool.
Would have been sick.
So, and on top of them being awesome people, and you know, the rest of my family is really cool. When I went back to Buffalo for the first time, I went to a family reunion for the first time, and I saw all my family there.
Reunion?
Yeah, they're just
23, 4.
No, this was when I went back to Buffalo for the first time after being here for 5 or 6 years. So it was like late 20s, yeah. And they were all just being a fucking family, you know? Like, it was amazing to see all the kids and my cousins, the older people. My grandma was there. They're like, I thought it might be the last time I see my grandma.
You've never talked to her before because your mom cut you off from your grandma?
Yeah. I
didn't see your grandma at all?
I reconnected with them, like, briefly before I moved out here. I went and saw them on Christmas.
So from 7 to like 22, you never saw your grandma on Christmas or nothing?
Yeah.
Fuck, you guys were cut off.
Yeah, big time. But
Your
it
dad was
was
cool
never
with it?
talked about. Yeah, he never said a shit about it. Like he didn't give a fuck, I don't think. Yeah, or he just understood how deeply passionate she was about this fucking vendetta.
Yes.
But nobody ever explained to me what the fuck was going on.
What's crazy is your dad is playing a guitar and meets the lady doing hippie dances and they got fucking married.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Cause yeah, if you look back at them, they were like the hippies that looked like the Manson hippies back in the day. Like they had the long hair and they were all fucking like, you know, I don't know what they were on. That's what I'm getting at. Whoa. I don't know. They both lived out here. They lived in LA and before, like my mom would tell me that she used to literally go to that bus station, pick somewhere to go and go live there.
Wow.
Shit like that for a couple years or whatever.
I grew up in the 60s.
Man. Yeah. And she grew up, you know, I'll get to this, but she wrote a letter.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to
it. Described
crazy shit.
Yeah.
So she has her own life. She's picking up Ariana, which is super fucking cool. Your whole family's cut off. You met them before you came back. Family reunion. Everybody's super cool. Mm-hmm. Then what changes when you're here in California that she's not being the great grandparent?
So, yeah. So I came back to California. Everything's still going great. And then we decided we were going to try to buy a house in Austin.
This is recent.
Yeah. Yeah, this was right before I met you.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So we moved to Austin. Now, I told her explicitly multiple times, we're going to be back. We're going down there to buy some properties. It might be a year. It might be a fucking month. We're going to be back. She's in like one of those senior apartment complexes where your rent is like capped. April had her on a fucking waiting list to go live on the ocean down in Dana Point at a similar thing. You got to be on a waiting list for like fucking 2 years to get in. April had put her on the waiting list. That was like maybe 6 months out. So we're like, just chill. Let us go figure this out. We might buy a house down there. Either way, we're coming back for sure. That was always the plan. I'm getting ahead of myself here. There was some big incidents where that really made me question like her honesty, because here's a really good example. We went to visit April's family in Florida. This is before Texas. We have our friend house sitting, like looking after our cat and shit. She comes to the house and she's like, something smells like it's burning. I just want you guys to know, I wasn't like smoking weed in your house or nothing. Like something smelled like it was on fire in your fucking house when I came. So then we like talked to my mom and she goes, yeah, I stopped over at the house and I got the baby a new bottle. And the strangest thing, I went to sanitize the bottle and I was boiling it. And I'm just sitting there and looking at my phone. And, you know, the next thing I know, it was kind of smoking.
The water had evaporated.
Now, I look out in my outdoor garbage can and I see a pan that was on fucking fire. The pan is singed as if the bottle was melted and is one with the pan now. The pan was on fucking fire. It had to have been on fire for a while. And when we came home, we could smell it in the house. So I like questioned her on it. Even at this point, still, I'm very fucking eggshells with her. And it's annoying to April because we don't like communicate really normally. There's still up through her living in California, still a giant fucking elephant in the room that I can't address, my resentment's also kind of building as time goes on. Because I'm seeing her do a bunch of vengeful shit to people, not to mention everything we've already brought up about me and, you know, kind of put me in harm's way at a young age, and then circled around to be butthurt about it. If you're going to hold the vengeance, you got to do it from the start. You can't let you can't drop me off at all times.
Yeah.
And then circle back to your vengeance.
Of course.
But anyway, she got real fucking like defensive and mad that I like questioned her about the pan. The very next day, now she's in the hospital. Now she had a heart attack at work.
Hold on, because your mom did pass away of an actual heart attack.
I think so.
So far. Your mom does pull Fred Sanford shit. And I've talked about Fred Sanford shit as in she fakes heart attacks when she doesn't want to continue the conversation.
We think that's what happened because in my experience, you don't go in for a heart attack and then have them let you go the same evening, basically. And then not have any like follow-ups or anything. Or if you like, it also it fits into a pattern of her health kind of deteriorating, but it was just this happened like 2 or 3 times where
you guys are having an argument.
Something would happen that I would have to call out. Like, was our house on fire or no? Why were you even here? You weren't even supposed to be here. Why are you boiling a bottle like it's 1930?
You have your kids.
Yeah. Nobody was in the house.
There's no bottle. There's no baby needs a bottle there.
We weren't even there. Like for when you guys get home, we got plenty of bottles. We got dishwasher. You know, like it was just very weird. And when I called her on it, it was a huge fucking health crisis. And that happened like 2 or 3 times.
She like my heart. I'm having a heart attack.
Not to say she didn't have health problems. when she got out here, she became diabetic. She was not living. She wasn't really taking great care of herself. She got real heavy. She got real she's like, I don't know. She was aging. She was like, she's in her low 60s. She didn't have to be like becoming elderly necessarily, but she's still so like, she just never got past my dad. And it just kept really getting worse, I feel like. So when we moved to Austin, she moved to Texas too, but she moved like 3 hours away to my aunt's house in Houston. Now, my aunt is a nurse and like a psychological doctor nurse. She ran a hospital her whole career. She's successful. She's the mom of my 2 cousins I'm talking about in Detroit.
Gotcha.
In the computer and this whole shit. She's like 3 years older than my mom.
You're closer to her than the other aunts.
Yeah, I guess. We're fine. We got no fucking problems.
No, I'm saying like in terms of like, I see you way more than, or talk to you way more than I talk to them.
We really just talk barely once in a while.
Gotcha.
But it's just how it is. I just don't have a lot of contact with them. But there's no reason behind it. It's just how it is. So my mom came and visited us like, you know, one time. We were only in Texas for like fucking 3 months and we moved right back.
Your mom just said, fuck it, I'm moving to Texas too.
So yeah. even though we told her. It wasn't about us moving to Texas. She was going to do it anyway because she didn't want to work anymore, is what I think it was. She wanted to live with my aunt. My aunt has a nice house. She lives by herself. She wanted to, I don't know, I guess us going to Texas probably had something to do with it, but she was, after I told her, like, hey, you're on this waiting list. Like, we're moving back. You don't got to do this. She still did it. She told me, I made the executive decision that me and your aunt are just happier when we're hanging out together, and I'm going to stay down here. And that's fine. That was fucking fine with me. I'm like, by all means, live your life if that's what you want to do. And it was stressful having her around too. Just this elephant in the fucking room became like, we didn't have a normal relationship anymore. It was always weird. She was always like, I was always on edge. It was always just, I felt fucking horrible about it too. Like, I felt really bad that our relationship was like that.
I feel like an asshole, but God, you told me the same shit.
Yeah. I couldn't, because I couldn't bring it up to her. What the, like what type of shit is this?
But if you did, she faked the heart attack shit.
Yeah. Like, and I told April when we first got together that is how it was. And she didn't really understand until all this shit happened. So now she's down in Texas and we move right back to California. And things start kind of taking off. Things start going well for me, more so than they were before. I meet with you. I'm getting booked to do big video shoots. I'm starting to take shit to the next level. So she came out to visit.
Last year.
Yeah.
This exact time last year.
Right around this exact time last year. Because I had just gotten booked to film a fucking Super Bowl commercial. And it was a really, really, really big deal. So she came to visit and she was going to see some of her old friends from work. And this is like fucking peak COVID. So anytime I get booked for a shoot, I got to go test basically every day. So that means I got to drive up to LA and get tested and drive back. And I still got to get tested like the next day. It's super high fucking COVID shit going on. And this is the biggest opportunity in my life by fucking far. I never imagined I'd be filming on Super Bowl commercial sets for T-Mobile.
Right.
This is with goddamn Gwen Stefani and Adam Levine, Blake Shelton. Huge opportunity. By far the biggest opportunity I've ever been involved in. And as I'm making, my whole day is now going to LA to get COVID tested. As I'm going to get COVID tested, she's going to go see some of her friends from work. And I go, oh, cool. I'm going to drive to LA to get COVID tested. You got a mask? Here, if you need any masks, we got some right here. She's like, no, I'm good. Now, mind you, she has diabetes. She's not in great shape to begin with. She's like out of shape. She's not some fucking peak athlete by any stretch.
You have all your kids in the house?
All the kids are in the house. Yeah, I mean, so then she proceeds and I watch her. She walks out, goes and gets in this fucking fool's car that looks like Santa Claus. He's got no mask on. She's got no mask on. They got the windows up. She gets in, closes the door, and they take off. I'm like fucking mind blown that she would do that. And I assume it was just a mistake. Like she forgot to put her mask on. So then as I'm like coming back from LA, I'm texting her like, are you going to go get like tested or what's the plan here? Cause I saw you get in his car. I was fucking furious, but I was being really nice. What's the plan here? Because I saw you get in his car without a mask on and I got my Super Bowl shoots this week. So I don't understand. Like, and she's like, we'll talk about it when I get home. And I'm like, okay, but if you got fucking COVID, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because not only that, she went and met with a bunch of her other fucking friends inside somebody's house. And she told me that they were going to hang out at some fucking park or some stupid shit. I don't fucking know. So then she starts getting real defensive and she starts getting all fucking mind blown that I have the audacity to like basically check her about it when she does get home. And I told April before she got there, I'm like, this is it.
She's going to be fucking pissed and leave.
This is it. Like beyond that, I'm in a position now where I have to fucking say something. I've spent all this time just trying to avoid any real life conversations with her just because I don't know where it'll fucking lead to. So I check her on it and I don't back down at all. I check her on it like I would anybody else. How are you going to go off to this shit knowing what I got going on here, not to mention our kids in this house and fucking COVID, and she's being an asshole about it. She's like defending her like, how dare you try to tell me what to do? It wasn't an accident.
Shit.
That type of shit. And then she proceeds to sit without talking to me for a full fucking day in the house before we're able to book her a fucking hotel room and take her to it. So she sat in the fucking house for a whole day and then had us take her to a hotel for the rest of her trip because she was so fucking offended that I had the audacity to fucking bring this shit up.
Frustrating, bro.
I was really, really fucking mad. Not to mention it's happening. All the shit I've set out for is fucking happening. And she keeps with this fucking shit. Every time something big is going to happen, like I'm going to move here. Or like the night that she did the shit with the let the shit on fire. All right, I work for Fighter and the Kid since day one. All right, before day one. I was maybe, I don't know, fucking 5-6 years into working with these fucking fools. I had never hung out with these fucking fools at all. Like we were on a remote basis. They blew up all this cool shit. I was just deep behind the scenes. We were having our Christmas party that night. It was that fucking night. And I called my aunt, her other sister, and she was like, I told her what happened. And me and her kind of reconnected before I left, like I said. And so she was kind of like giving me some guidance around this shit. And she was just telling me how she's like, your Graham sits here and she'll just be like staring out the window and be like, why doesn't Diane talk to me?
Oh, she doesn't get it
like,
still either? And
yeah, like she doesn't know. She's just fucking wondering. Like she doesn't get it, I guess. And my aunt's like, she's just an asshole. When she said that she's like, you got to live your life right now. Sometimes when people got to fucking sleep in the bed they've made sometimes in life. When she said that shit, I was like, it gave me changed my perspective on, I felt like I was being manipulated.
Of 100%. I knew you met your mom when I knew that. Every time you're about to do something cool that would make you go further or away from her, she did something fucked up to you. Or try to do some shit that would make you like, well, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I shouldn't leave.
It was just like, she just didn't, none of that was like, I don't know. She wasn't thinking about, she wasn't thinking about what I had going on at all. So then we moved back. She comes, that all happens.
The COVID shit.
The COVID shit happens and she just leaves. Now we're not talking now.
After less than a year ago now.
Yeah. Yeah. So now from, say that was December, January, February, March, April, we're really not talking. And I was fucking fine with it, to be honest.
We're just busy too. Busy.
We're doing it like, if you want to cut me off for some shit you did, the fuck do you want me to do? I already got all this shit I'm walking around with.
And you're thinking that the way you're thinking is like, fuck, I'm such a piece of shit asshole for thinking like this.
Yes, constantly.
Don't ever fucking feel that way. If you need to cut somebody off to the camera, to you guys, fuck them. That's it. That's how you have to live your life, or you're going to live your life for other people.
Well, you start in this situation, then you start living it for your kids to have good grandparents. Because I really didn't have grandparents growing up.
Yeah, of course.
On either side, really. So it's super important to April and me that my kids have a fucking grandmother. So like, we didn't do what she did. I didn't go and get all butthurt. Like, she just started like talking to April but she also like wouldn't let my daughter come down and visit her. She also really wasn't, though? I don't know.
She said, no, I don't want her to come down.
Yeah. Like, hey, do you want Ariana to come down and visit? No, well, I'll come up there. Like, she was just starting to not care about being in the kids' lives all like that when she went back down there.
That was leading up until
now
it's December to April.
So she
still
went,
not talking.
And she's living with my aunt. And I knew this was going to happen. I predicted this was going to happen. My aunt went out of town. She was, I'm assuming my mom was butthurt over something and moved out without telling her and got her own apartment.
After moving over there?
Yes, to live
Texas.
with my aunt, yeah. Okay. There was really no plan. Like, she literally went down there and her job was to drive kids to school. As if she doesn't have like grandkids that we don't have school buses. Yeah. So she went and now she's moved out of my aunt's house and she moved into an apartment that is the same amount she was paying to live in fucking Santa Ana. Not to mention would be the same amount she'd be paying to live on the fucking beach. Ocean in San Clemente. So whatever, still fine, but not very cool to my aunt. You move out without telling her over God knows what.
Yeah.
So now anyway, she goes out, she has her own apartment. Fine. But she's starting to like tell my aunt and my cousins down there, like she's starting to act very like depressed, and she's blaming it on me. And like my daughter, basically, my aunt said she's like being nasty to my cousins down there, just kind of being a dick across the board. But she's like blaming it on like it's my fault, when in reality, she's the one not talking to me over some shit she did.
This is all during season 1.
Yeah. All this been going on behind the fucking scenes.
Yeah.
So I didn't give a fuck at that. I'm like, I know what it is. And she texted me kind of trying to instigate some shit. And I left it like, I don't know what your point is with this text if you're not trying to instigate some shit. I accept that I said we don't exist in the same reality. So I can't move past this without you like acknowledging it. But I also accept that we don't exist in the same reality. So that's just where we are. Because I can't let this shit go. Who the fuck would I be? Just let's not like, all I'm looking for is just like, I don't want an apology. Just like maybe an apology would be nice. Some accountability of like, I'm sorry, I basically tried to fuck you over and then blamed you for it afterwards to everybody else. Like just acknowledge, even then it started, so I started to hear about like that. And then here's the fucking kicker. Then she started to get really weird ailments that really couldn't like, the next call I got was, hey, she was trying to clean some shit off her fridge and she fell and like her knees are bruised up. She's got to go to the hospital. Her knees are all fucked up. Okay. She's still not talking to me. Okay, cool. We're still hearing about this shit. And then literally from there, it started fucking spiraling.
This is around August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is July, August.
Oh shit, we're getting to we're getting to August right now.
So yeah, so she started like with a series of like ailments, and I think a lot of it was like with her stomach. She had diabetes. She didn't really eat healthy. She didn't like take care of herself. And she started having all these like issues, and then she was like not taking care of herself. And then she was just back to living at my aunt's house. And I didn't really have a sense of what was really going on, because
just hearing it through your aunt.
What I am hearing, I'm hearing through my aunt. Me and her don't really talk all like that to begin with. But then I get a call on my birthday that she was unresponsive and they found a bunch of pills next to my aunt's bed. And that when the fucking ambulance came, she started fucking freaking out and shit. It was like fucking screaming at my cousins and, why the fuck did you wake me up? All this shit. And then they took her to the hospital. And then now I was like, all right, once I found that out, I was like, all this shit is out the window. We're not like, we started talking. And we had like a normal, she was acting all normal. I didn't come out and ask her, I don't think, like if that, like what the fuck was going on, but she made it seem like it wasn't that. She made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal.
That she tried to die?
When I talked to her, like she made it seem like,
oh yeah, I tried.
It was like, she didn't know I knew all those details.
Oh,
mind you, my aunt is her career is running a hospital, a psychiatric ward of a hospital. If there's anybody more qualified,
she's got a patient in her house
to be helping her, it's her. So,
what'd your aunt say?
My aunt thought it was very fucking suspicious.
What was suspicious?
The whole scenario and just how she was acting, and like
she faked taking all the pills?
No, I don't think she faked it, but she thought that it was. She thought that that's what it was. She thought that she was trying to end it. But what I found out afterwards is right before that, she had found out that her fucking Social Security was about to run up or some shit.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
And I think maybe just coincidentally it was my birthday. But that like was, I don't know. But I woke up from a nap on my birthday to that. And And that shit was fucking crazy. And then we started talking again, and she was like saying how she's focusing on getting better. She was like, she went through a couple stints of going like random symptoms that they didn't really know what the fuck was going on. Like the last thing she texted me was, my heart checked out clear. I got a full check. My heart's clear. So, you know.
And that was when?
That was like a couple days ago.
Okay, so from your birthday to now, to a couple days ago, you're still talking frequently again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I once I realized that she wasn't well, we started like, talking and all that, you know, because she was like, what I think happened, she had COVID when she left.
Right?
She had, my
it from
aunt
that
told
guy.
me, I don't know, but she fucking had it. And if you get a COVID shot, she got vaccinated after she had it. And me and April read online that if you have like too many antibodies from having it and then you get the vaccine, that there's all these symptoms that can fucking happen.
But she had pre-existing diseases.
She had other shit going on, diabetic and all this other shit. But we told my aunt and her, like, guys, the doctors literally aren't being able to figure out why you're having all these stomach problems and your legs are giving out on you and you're like having all these issues. But it looks like right here, these symptoms are in line with what this, we sent them the article. I brought it up to him like fucking 5 times. Like, is anybody checking on this? And she was like, she basically told me, yeah, like they're, you know, they know what they're doing. Basically they're, you know, looking into whatever. But so
you guys had a regular conversation. You guys were actually talking until a couple days ago.
Yeah, April FaceTime with her like fucking 2 days ago.
What the fuck?
Yeah, with the kids and shit. And she was saying that she was going to like a rehab.
Because the past couple months she was in and out for being mentally kind of fucked.
Both. I mean, it started with, oh, I'm so depressed, but then it snowballed into like there's a bunch of random physical symptoms going on that the doctors can't figure out what's going on. But also at the same time, I got the sense from my aunt who was with her like every day that she's sick. There's something going on, but at the same time, I feel like she could be like doing more or something. Like, not to say that she was not sick, but my aunt was starting to feel a little bit like she was being taken advantage of. 2 calls ago, I got that from her. And when she said that, I was like, fuck, man. Like, I really thought that she was going to live another fucking 30 years and it was going to be just some like, she was either, I knew she didn't want to work. I thought she was going to live with my aunt or she was going to come. I didn't want her to come and live with us just because I didn't want that. Like, I wanted her to come and live by us again, but I'm not able to fucking support her, especially now. Like, we just spent all our money on a house. The house is still under construction. We don't have any extra money for all this shit at all. And let alone like, you know, I just wanted her to have her own life again. And because we were getting the sense that she had just like checked out basically. She wasn't talking to the grandkids really. She had checked out just in a lot of ways.
And this was a few days ago that your aunt found a letter?
No, my aunt told me yesterday.
Oh,
she wrote this letter back in September. She wrote it on her and my dad's anniversary, September 20th. She started having all these issues somewhere around then, August. But she was talking about, the letter is called My Final Thoughts.
Oh, God.
It's not a suicide letter, but it's a letter about your final thoughts at the end of life. Back in September, she was not that fucking sick. It was all centered around her falling from the fridge and her knees and the bruising and like something going on. They cleared her heart. And I don't know what's going to happen from this, but my aunt told me that like they had moved her from the hospital to like a rehab style place to get her like back up and walking and shit. And we had offered the whole time, like, do you want us to come down there? Do you want to do you want to come back up here?
You kept telling me, I think I'm going to Texas this week.
She kept telling us no.
Yeah.
Like later, no. And then they sent her to like a rehab, and my aunt was with her. This is 2 nights ago. And my aunt, like at night before she had to leave or whatever, was calling the doctor. The doctor was supposed to like come and check her out and evaluate her that day. She was like waiting for her to come all day. She never came. At like 6 o'clock, my aunt calls her and the doctor tells her, I'm not actually going to be coming today. We'll check her out in the morning. But my aunt noticed something was wrong with my mom. Was like, she's not doing well. She's not really responsive. Something's wrong. You guys really need to see her tonight. And the lady's like, she'll be okay overnight. We'll check her out in the morning. Mind you, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. If they were like, her symptoms aren't that serious, or if they were just being fucking lazy about it. But 5 a.m. rolls around and she went into like cardiac arrest or some shit. And they called my aunt back. And then right when my aunt got there, she died.
At this rehab.
I think they rushed her back over. These places are fucking next door to each other, I think.
Oh, got you.
They put her back in the hospital. And yeah, man, I really didn't think that shit was going to happen.
No, of course not, bro.
It's like these fucking
all the shit we've been talking about lately, too. All the fucking literally talking about your mom. We were just talking about
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of like
days ago.
Yeah. I've been keeping you loosely, kind of, just because I thought there was a bunch of times I thought I was going to have to go to Texas.
Well, you told me like every 3 weeks. I think I might have to go to Texas this week. You go, all right, well, let's make sure we fucking buckle down now.
Yeah, we're going to
get work out the way.
And they kept being like, no, it's not that serious. And if I like,
that's what you kept saying. Well, they said that she's all right and she doesn't want me to come, so.
Yeah. And my aunt also said, if it were to get.
What'd you need?
The joint. Oh, sorry. Thanks. Appreciate you, sir. My aunt's like, listen, if it were to be that serious, I would not let something happen to your mom without having you down here. I'll let you know if you really need to come down here.
So it's not like she knew. It was just kind of an unexpected
It was
thing.
a freak. I mean, they just evaluated her heart, and somehow she went into fucking cardiac arrest. So I called the medical examiner yesterday and asked them to do a fucking autopsy, and they were like, talk to me like I was fucking stupid.
Why?
Because I was like, this doesn't make sense. They just cleared her heart, and now she has a heart attack 2 days later. She has a history of self-harm almost. Can we fucking see if
something else happened?
Is there anything in her blood? Did she fuck with some of her shit? Did somebody else fuck with her shit?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
How's she going to be cleared for her heart and then have a fucking heart attack? Granted, I'm no goddamn doctor. But she was like, well, did she have access to her medicine? I'm like, I'm not there. I'm in California. I don't know. I'm like, my aunt's there. She's a nurse. I don't think she like OD'd. I don't know how you can fuck with your equipment.
I see what you're saying.
I don't even know. I'm just like, can you check if something's weird? And they were like, unless you have evidence of a suicide or a homicide, like they ruled it that we don't need to check it. She had all these issues here that could be the cause of this.
So they won't check? Yeah, the movies really lie to us, bro. I thought you get an autopsy no matter what.
So my aunt is having her attorney look into this shit tomorrow.
You're going to go down there Thursday?
I don't know.
Not sure yet?
I don't know what's going to happen.
Fuck, would you get to bury her back in Buffalo? What do you guys
Well, she wrote this letter.
Yes, get on the letter. My final thoughts. So she basically talked about her entire life.
Yeah, it was a 3-page letter, typed up, and it was
typed up.
Yeah, that was the weird part. I don't. Yeah, it was a picture of it, but it was printed out on paper, 3 pages. And she just talked about she opened up the letter talking about her grandmother and how she learned to be a good grandmother from her grandmother. And then she talked about how she didn't have a happy childhood and she wasn't close to her family. But then it was like a summary of her life. And then I got a paragraph and April got a paragraph and each of my kids got a paragraph. And then she was talking about knowing that there's an afterlife and not being attached to her life or her body. And that people will say when she dies that at least she's with Charlie now and that they're right. Not.
Charlie's your dad for everyone.
Yeah. And that she like knew she was going to be, you know, greeted by whoever or whatever, and that she was just at peace with it or whatever.
How odd.
So it was just so much different than when my dad died.
Yeah.
Like it was such a like drawn out thing, and this was so.
And we've talked about it so heavy
shocking.
on this show too. The fact that this is happening right now is crazy, bro.
Yeah. And I definitely could have did more.
We talked about this before.
I was fucking mad though.
Not even that you're mad. You have 3 fucking kids, a full-time career. You made every fucking offer and effort to go, hey, come out here. Hey, can I go out there? Hey, not much more you can do than just show up and then get in a fight because she's like, why the fuck are you here?
I was really worried about that because ultimately I know that we can't move on in our relationship until some of these questions are answered, and I know that I can't ask them. And I also want to be like, you really took this shit with your mom literally to the fucking grave. You got this old lady sitting here the past 30 years, not really understanding what the fuck is going on. I don't know what she said to her at the funeral, but she said something and that was it. And it's like, just how she spun the shit around, it really had me at the end. Like,
She isolated you pretty much.
yeah. And then just to not even really acknowledge or recognize it. I mean, April's family is big and they're connected and like they do shit. They go places, they do things with kids. They're a real family.
Yeah.
They have fights and then they're still family. You know, it was just nothing like that. And she just never really acknowledged that. We never even fucking talked about it. Like, before I moved to California, I went up to my aunt's factory and like I fucking met with her for like the first time. She was fucking bawling. And I asked her like, is this true about my grandfather and shit? And like, I never even got a straight real answer out of her.
Really?
She was just like, I don't doubt that it's true, but nobody else let it trickle so hard, so fucking far.
It's not your mom's fault, though.
No, not at all. I mean, she didn't even have a fair shot. Like this shit.
No.
I don't know what she went through, but
up.
I know as you look at her pictures of her in her eyes as a little kid and shit, she looks fucking like pissed. And I know she was always getting in trouble as a kid. I'm sure she was on drugs. She wasn't like an addict, but I'm sure she was deep into hippie shit.
I mean, where's your mom's family from?
Buffalo.
Oh, for real?
But
she met your dad in L.A. though?
No. Well, I don't know. No, they met in Buffalo.
Okay.
They lived around the country separately. Like they both lived around the country randomly. My dad used to live in Compton.
Really?
He taught chess at a park in Compton. I don't even know if Compton was Compton then, but I always thought that shit was funny because he's just the whitest dude of all time.
Teaching chess at a park? Back when that was a job.
Yeah. Probably on some, I don't know. But yeah, then they came back to Buffalo and she met like gigging out, like you said, he's the musician, she's the hippie girl, and that's how it went. And that was their life. They were fucking, you know, they were totally fucking, my dad had no ambitions of like striking it big or
just playing music.
They were just playing music. They were small business owners. She ran, you know, I used to enter in all the receipts for all his business shit. You taught guitar.
The lessons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, 1 second, my bad. Sorry. So you taught guitar, you used to do the receipts. This is such an odd episode.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking about in the terms of like, it's just so final, I feel. You know?
I always wanted to talk about this shit, but I never thought I would really be able to, just to get it off my chest.
She would freak out and do something crazy to
in
herself.
a meaningful way that might help out a lot of kids out there.
We wanted to talk about this because it will help out because there's going to be hundreds of people going, fuck, holy shit, that sounds just like me. Because you thought your mom would fucking kill herself if she heard this shit.
I would never have spoke about this. I even
talked about it many times. Like she might kill herself.
Like no, it's really like a not stable situation. I was very fucking careful to never talk about anything that I didn't. I didn't ever want to make her feel bad. But at the same time, it's like part of my story. It is my story, and I have to explain the shit to my kids. And I don't want to explain the shit to my kids, and I'm not going to because
when they get older, play this episode and be like, this is what the fuck I grew up with. Done.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't want to let that pain keep trickling. But at the same time, it's like they didn't grow up around my family at all.
When you call me on FaceTime and go, kids grow up bad, right? Tell them, Thomas, they got it good, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you guys live in a bomb house and both your parents are here and they don't beat the fuck out of you and everything's cool. You guys are doing great. You got a night bed? Damn, you got a night bed.
Yeah. No fucking idea.
This one will call me out of nowhere. Tell my fucking kids that they got it so damn good. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's your dad's cool.
I think the point's about resentment. The point's about elephants in the room. The point's about my advice would be to be strong enough to not be burdened by that. Even I don't know. I mean, I would hold if I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how if I were her, like, it seems it was just not like consistent too. Like she would kind of, all my family wanted to do was be back in with her too. Like my aunt, like she would, like it was on her mind. I could tell.
She cut your grandma off, but cut all her sisters and brothers off too?
Yeah, but then she would let them in a little bit. As I got a little bit older, she started talking to her sisters and her brother again. But then like she got herself all wrapped up in my uncle's divorce, so much so that I'm pretty sure he had to call the fucking cops on her because she got so wrapped up in it that she was like doing crazy harassment shit. I heard.
Whoa, your mom goes hard.
But under the guise of a fucking healer. That was what really bothered me. Like her whole thing was that she was above.
You have good patience. I would have lost my shit at 12. I would have lost.
She wasn't
my
like
shit
that.
already.
She wasn't like that at all.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's the weird thing about it. I never had these thoughts at all until I was like 19, 20, where I started. And then the shit with Jamel happened, and that was like literally slow motion. I still fucking see it. Her, like it was so just Seinfeld white trash moment in our driveway.
Jerry Springer.
Seinfeld, Jerry Springer. Yeah,
don't you bring Jerry Seinfeld into this bullshit? Yeah, Jerry Springer.
Yeah. It was one of those, and I was just like, I felt so betrayed. And
yeah, that's her son too.
He called me yesterday for the first time.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, I didn't answer.
The first time he called you or reached out since you moved away, right?
Yeah. I didn't talk to anybody except for you. Yeah. I didn't really fucking feel like talking. Like now's not the goddamn time.
I understand.
I wanted to talk to you guys.
This is different though.
Yeah, and thank you by the way. Yeah. Like all the messages and comments and stuff were really awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I really, really, really don't like the type of energy or attention of everybody knowing that something bad just happened to you. I got that attention a lot, and I don't like it. But you can't have a show and not talk about your life.
Of course. And now that you could freely talk about, because there was so much, bro, you've told me.
I would rant. I found myself kind of ranting at you because
you've never talked about it before.
April's there for all the shit.
Yeah, you've never talked about it before. We talked for like fucking 3 hours yesterday. Yeah, you've never been able to talk about this shit for fear of just walking on eggshells.
Yeah,
you're so fragile.
Just
I get it.
Not wanting to hurt her feelings. And I don't know if that was the right thing. Evidently, that was not the right fucking thing to do. Well, I don't know, because literally this spiral occurred after I was like, here we go. I literally, before I had to check her over the COVID shit, I told April, here we go. I don't know where this is going to end.
But that's frick. If not, then like I said, you can't live your life for other motherfuckers, dude. There's so many people out there that just resonated hard because I know they're doing that right now. Tiptoeing around your fucking parents because you don't want to fucking quit college, even though you don't want to be in fucking school. Talk about the shit. You have to. You truly have to. But for you as a whole thing, you cannot talk about certain shit because your mom. And you don't want to. This isn't worth her doing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know? That's why we never talked about any of your stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think that's the takeaway. It's just going to make me... I'm just trying to, like, what can we learn? Can we learn from this?
I know it's super fucked up because it's your mom and shit, but I know for me, looking on an outside perspective, I can always say, if this is a movie, what's the outcome? It's only up, bro. And I'm not saying your mom was holding you back. Your mom was holding you back in terms of you can't even live your full life without being like, oh shit, can I do that? Is she gonna fucking lose it and go to a fucking psychiatric ward and kill herself and take? You were going through this shit for months, bro. For months. You call me like you were going through this shit for a long time. It's not that this is better at all in any way, shape, or form. Fuck no. You'd much rather have her living here and being your fucking grandma.
But she didn't. Where I find peace in it all is I know she didn't really want that.
Yeah, she didn't care. She was like, I'm fine with just being here.
I knew it even like back when we lived in Buffalo. Like after he died,
she's done.
She just didn't. She couldn't find in her letters.
Did your mom ever date another person?
No, fuck no.
There it is. Your mom was so obsessed
even
with
before
your dad.
him. I don't even know. I have no like their lives before me are a fucking mystery in a lot of ways. I don't know.
Your mom was just obsessed with him, bro.
She was just, that was her whole identity. And she never was able to bounce back. She mentioned in her letter not being remembered for like being taken down by grief. But I think, if he was still alive, she would still be alive. If she would have gone first, I don't think he wouldn't, 10 years later, he would have been back to himself. He would have his own life.
For sure. Your dad seemed like a very, he does music, but he seems like a fucking mechanic. I was going to do my job, come home, it was food. Okay, all right. You did good? You crashed a car? Fuck!
Yeah.
You know, that's how I feel like your dad.
Simple.
Very simple.
To himself.
Yeah, no opinion.
Yeah, just couldn't be better. Both like
Sorry.
couldn't be better at minding his own business. Couldn't be better at just being like just chilling. He didn't have all this extra energy. And I think probably maybe even if he were alive and I were to like talk to him about all this shit, I think he would like get it. He would understand. It'd be cool to be able to relate to him about all this shit. But yeah, man, it's cool to be able to talk about it like this. It's been a long fucking time.
Your whole life. Weird. You've been one day being able to freely talk.
Yeah.
Shit, even freely think sometimes.
Just get it all out, because I don't ever want to feel like I'm throwing people under the bus with shit. But it's like, if it's my life, if you're in my life to the point that you've defined chapters in my life, I'm allowed to talk about the shit.
Exactly. If you're in the book, there's a reason. Or like her, if you have a chapter or a paragraph. I find it wild that she did her final thought summary a couple months ago. How odd is that?
You know, that's kind of her, I don't want to say her style, but it was her style to like, to act like she knew so much about the afterlife that she would be fine with writing, these are my final thoughts. But she wasn't even that sick then. Or like, I don't know exactly.
She even was sick.
Those were still the early stages of like, I hurt my knees. I'm depressed. I don't know. She didn't really ever talk to me. She would always have like Elaine. That's okay. Here we go. Here's another big fucking thing. She never really had friends. Like she would get friends from like the internet that were into the metaphysical shit too. Elaine was like that too, but she was local.
And your mom cut Elaine off over an argument.
I didn't even know that. When we moved to Texas and she came to visit us the one time, She very fucking casually was like, Elaine died. We're like, what? She said it so nonchalant.
Oh, no, my best friend, she died.
She died. And then she goes, she was ready. That's what she said.
I know you've been through this so much, but I kind of got to be honest, bro. Your mom might have been on some shit. Maybe they were tapped into some shit.
Maybe. I mean,
you never know.
Elaine committed suicide. So.
Take it all back.
That's what she meant by she was ready.
I'll take this all back. I thought.
No. So.
And the way Elaine committed suicide.
Just to clear that up.
She was ready. Of course. She did it. That was your mom's answer to that?
It hit me in the chest when she said that shit. Me and April both looked. She was so fucking just like.
Maybe she was there to assist. For real, best friendship. Like you're done. I'll be there. I'll help you.
Nah, she was
on some shit like that, dude. People are wild. That's crazy. That's your mom.
So, like, she mentioned one of her friends in her letter that I never heard of. She would like get friends. She'd like, and then she'd act like it was normal. Like, oh, so and so from fucking Russia is in town, and so and so from South Africa.
Because they all do the metaphysical, crazy energy shit. Wow, your mom was part of that community.
She considered herself that, like, but at the same time, who the fuck are we healing here? That was my thing. Like, heal something then. My dad just was tortured for 8 years. You're going through all this shit. You're inadvertently putting everybody else through all this shit with you. Like, let's get some fucking healing going at some point was the other thing too. You can't sit here and act like
patience. You have such patience. I would have lost my shit.
Act like you're like you know what's gonna happen. Heal. You know this shit is all. You're a fucking psychic, but all this horrible shit is happening. And give me a fucking heads up then. How about?
Totally funny thing to take away. Give me a fucking heads up. Like I always say, when I see these little psychic buildings off the freeway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Why even have the building and pay the rent? If you're a psychic, just find your clients. You're a psychic.
There's a couple holes in that business model, but they're in business though.
Yeah,
People
they shouldn't ask you your name when you walk in.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your name? Shouldn't you fucking know?
Yeah,
bitch?
You tell me.
You tell me. Exactly. Wow. So you grew up in. All right. I didn't realize your mom was so heavy into the spiritual shit.
Yeah.
So that's the 9 Perfect Strangers. When I told you to watch it.
Yeah, I watched it.
Like that.
Yeah.
She's like that lady.
Trying to remember. I'm trying to blank on that fucking show, but. Yeah. Now I remember.
The lady that walks around.
She thought of herself like that lady.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Wow.
She did.
Trying to talk to the dead, like you just said. That's what the whole show is about.
Yeah. But it was like it's an interesting thing. It's like an ego, it's like a defense. It's a defense. It's ego sitting on top of a defense mechanism.
That's a good way to put it.
Because if she didn't have all that belief and faith in her shit, then it would have been too much to deal with, I guess. But I didn't like that. She got me thinking like that for a stretch when my dad was real sick. Like, well, why did this happen? Like, what am I doing wrong that this would happen? Type of shit, basically, or like, there's some outside force off there, that's causing this shit to happen. Like, she got me thinking like her for a fucking while. I thought like her. I realized I was very much like her because I would cut them, like we were talking about, cut people out of my life immediately. I was super cold, and I realized like that I got that from her.
Yeah,
and I had to.
But if it's justified, you're logical though.
Now I'm not like that. I don't hold vengeances and shit.
No,
I'm trying to learn from her for that. Like, it left her at the end of the day alone. She didn't have any real friends or family because she had isolated herself from everybody. She was with my aunt. My aunt, I don't want to, like, the situation enabled my mom to not have to work, but still she just took it like to another level. I feel bad that happened to my aunt. She went down there to live with her. My aunt was like, yeah, hey, we're both getting a little older. We're single. Like, you know, I could see how, in one sense, I'm like, this could be fucking awesome for you guys.
Could be some, thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, it could be great. Let's get something going. Let's get some life going. Like, if you don't want it to be your grandkids, okay.
Get a small-time job, go work at the fucking public library.
Something.
Yeah.
Old ladies that are widows, we see them all the time. They figure it out. They keep pushing forward with life. But
that's sad. I feel bad for your mom, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I feel really bad on a lot of different levels.
It's like the villain, like what caused the villain kind of thing. Not saying she's a bad person.
Yeah.
Saying what caused like the bad shit to spark.
She just needed therapy. We went to therapy the other day to try it out. We took my daughter to a counselor to just let her talk some things out. We've been having some issues and shit. I should have been in there my whole life. Like, not to think it was some magical experience, but that is the problem because we never talked about anything. That was just, I think a lot of families are like that. Like,
probably.
We didn't talk about how bad my dad was suffering. We didn't talk about, it was too much. Like, it was too much to fucking talk about, literally. We didn't talk about how bad she was suffering. We didn't talk about when she was strung out on pills. We didn't talk about when she was probably suicidal in Buffalo. We didn't talk about fucking anything, you know, but me and her used to talk about everything. Something changed when he got sick. Like polar opposites changed. Weird. And I don't know if it was just that I became an adult and I started interfacing with her as an adult instead of a kid, or if something snapped and changed during all that pain. But whatever it was, she really wasn't able to bounce back from it. I don't feel like, and unfortunately, I feel like that's the truth.
Well, damn.
So, yeah.
That was summed up pretty well. I'm glad you got to talk about it, though.
I feel better. It was just a goddamn whirlwind of thoughts in my head. Like, ever since yesterday when it started, she called me, my aunt was crying. She told me just a tornado of fucking thoughts right up until now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when you told me, like, let's do the fucking episode.
Well, I don't want to ruin it, but we have a huge guest booked for Tuesday. And
Monday and Tuesday, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Tomorrow?
Well,
today's Sunday.
I got to look at the calendar. We have a really, is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, bro.
Oh, fuck. Okay, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it is tomorrow.
And then we talked about Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Dr. Drew was booked, but
Tuesday, but
we might reschedule because he would have had a heart out after like an hour.
Yeah, we like an hour episode.
We don't want. Let's wait. I was gonna talk to Dr. Drew about this shit.
Well, not even that. We booked Dr. Drew before this because your mom was driving you fucking insane.
Then
this happened. Maybe we should just have fucking Dr. Drew, even if it is a fucking hour. Come in, bro.
I mean, maybe it's fine now. I was gonna ask his advice. Like, what should I do? I was gonna pull him aside afterwards. Like, I hope you got another fucking hour in you, bro, because I need some real life fucking advice because I don't know how to handle this situation. But anyway, we were gonna do the April episode, which is still going to be an amazing episode. But
fuck yeah, it's gonna happen.
We couldn't not do this, and I didn't want to not have an episode for this week to come out. So I don't know when it's gonna come out, but we'll have an episode for this week. And just all the support from the fans yesterday. I was thinking about it all day. And there's no way we could have did it yesterday, but
No.
April was like, you should go do it.
Yeah, dude, sometimes it helps. The dealing with death episode, that shit helped me so fucking much.
Yeah.
Even though this is fresh as shit,
and
bro.
All the people in the comments that were impacted by that episode.
Oh, yeah.
That was different.
Yeah.
That was fucking different. But that was very similar, and you were dealing with that behind the scenes, and then it just comes to a head, and you have to address it.
And shit, you're doing the same exact thing. Dealing with the same shit.
Yeah.
Except I feel way worse because the person I talking about was one of my best homies.
Yeah.
You're just sitting here struggling through life because of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry that her story ended like that. When I was a kid, I would have never imagined, like, this is how, like, the story of her life is going to end.
Weird.
But it's in your hands, though. you can have it. I mean, she had it on track for fucking a long time. They had me when they were like 35, 40 or whatever, right up until I was a teenager. I mean, they did it. They had a successful house. They were fucking happy. It's fine. But just because it doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. You got to keep like evolving to keep your life going.
Yeah. No matter how old you are. Honestly, I can't wait till I'm fucking 85.
Yeah. I know. I mean, hopefully,
Chapter,
I
bro.
mean, like you want, ideally, the goal is to be fucking comfortable and have your kids shit all taken care of at that point and just mission accomplished. That's the goal.
Yeah, exactly.
But life can be just so hard on you that like grief alone can take you out, apparently. You know, I don't know. I don't know how people go through shit they go through. Losing kids, losing, you know, like, I get it.
For sure.
Yeah, how easy it would be to check out. But just when you're older in life and you have grandkids and shit, it's ideal for that not to happen. But to each his own, and we can't like take too much responsibility for somebody else's path.
That's the main thing in this episode. Like the main thing to leave with is you're still so fucking young that this is going to be 30 years ago. Remember 30 years ago, my life was just fucking going wild. You know what I mean? Like this is a different chapter of your life towards not just always focusing like I can't do this or that because of another person. And I'm like, again, I'm not trying to say it isn't like this is not a good thing at all. It would be a good thing to change your ways, the way she was going. You guys are talking again. Maybe move back. Maybe watch the fucking kids. You have another granddaughter that was cool as shit.
Yeah.
You know, so.
She didn't get to see the house. That's a bummer. But she also never even brought it up, really. I don't know. She just wasn't on her mind. It's not even like, I think at a certain point you get so consumed. If you're in depression or if you're in grief or if you're just kind of checking out of wanting to be alive, it's selfish for other people to be like, damn, you're not even thinking about me.
Yeah. I understand that.
But I just wish
But it's
that
also selfish as fuck to be like, only me.
Yeah.
My problems revolve around you. People don't realize when they fuck up and get all depressed or die or kill themselves and shit, it's like, you fucked up so many other people's lives, you bitch. It's more selfish to do that shit.
I felt so bad putting this pain on my kids last night. I was 7 when my grandfather died. Up until I found out he wasn't a good person, I thought he was a good person.
Yeah.
So I have a 7-year-old boy. We had to put that pain on him last night. Bro, you're going to walk around with this forever. I'm sorry I got to put this on you. My 3-year-old doesn't understand what the fuck's going on, but she does somewhat. I mean, and she, like I said, she was a great grandmother. Like Ariana was in her house in Lackawanna for the first 5 years of her life. She grew up there. My dad lived long. He wasn't supposed to live long enough to even see her. He lived till she was like 2.
Shit.
Like Ariana was in the house that I grew up in Lackawanna, like with my mom a lot. When we'd go to work, she was there. It was right there. We lived right.
She had a fucking full-on grandma for a time. Wow.
Full on fucking grandma. Full blown. And then even when she moved to California, you know, like I pat her on the back. I said, I'm going to make it happen. She said, I know you are. We took off into the fucking distance. A year later, we made it happen to the point that she was able to move out. And she was fine doing that. But I just wish she'd never moved to Texas, man. I wish we never moved to Texas. You can't go back and,
No,
but
that's the path.
the path that she was on here, she could have rolled that out and it could have been fucking cool.
Until you're 60. You know what I mean? She could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you can't think about like what could have, maybe she was ready to go, bro.
That's what it sounded like. It just sounded like, not only am I like, I'm okay if I go, but like she said in her letter, I'm not attached to my life or my body. She considered herself such a fucking spiritual realm person that she felt more comfortable there than here, basically.
Well, honestly, maybe that's not even a bad thing for the
I
way
don't
she went
think
out by
it's-
herself. You know?
If she wasn't, there's probably, I feel like I discredit a lot of her shit without giving it a chance because like she's been so like loopy about it.
Yeah.
That
Of course, the cry wolf shit. Like,
it hits a wall with me where I'm annoyed as soon as I start hearing the shit.
Yep. I totally, and then remember, I was just talking about this the other day. When me and my mom weren't cool and we weren't fucking friends, instead of sit through it like, this is you, and this is how it's going to be. Oh, okay. Oh, and I leave.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to yell 8 times. Fuck. But you can only do it so long.
Yeah. That's
So
exactly, and I felt so bad about that.
yeah, because you're like, sorry, April. I'm screaming into the fucking steering wheel to drive home. I get it.
And then, when...
And you have kids. And you can't be like, your grandma
It was
fucking
bad.
sucks.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
She went on a vendetta against April. I kind of forgot about it in that part of the story, but when that shit happened with Jamel, she really did go on a fucking vendetta against April over really literally over nothing, just because in the mix of that, she started being real fucking nasty. And despite that, April was always the person that was there for her and understanding and never took that shit to heart, even though they really fucking ruined her life for about a couple months and just putting a bunch of untrue shit up in the air and just acting all butthurt that I was starting a fucking family, basically. And
not everybody's cool, man.
they were all fucking.
Even though they're your parents, not everybody's the greatest person that.
And then,
not everybody's you want to hang out with.
Yeah,
if they weren't.
That was the thing. I always wanted to be able to like April and her mom have tons of issues. They still hang out and she's still cool and you still have a normal conversation with her. I was always like, I wish that was the case. But like, I was always like, what the fuck too is that like. She cuts off everybody in life, right? The one person she kept contact with the whole time was Jamel.
Really? To this day?
I think so.
Oh, is that why he called? He still was close to your mom.
And I'm like, even when we were at we were at horrible odds over nothing. Even at that moment, she was playing both sides of the fence. Which I get, but like,
your sons,
bro.
Yeah, I get it. But she considered him a son.
It was fucking serious.
Yeah, I get it.
And then and granted, we've been at odds over nothing. I have
nothing.
So like I was only mad at like his like actions in that time. But even then, years go on and she'll just start bringing it up. Oh, you got this going on. I'm like, what makes you think I give a fuck? Do I ask about this shit? Why would you cut everybody off? The one dude who had fucking this horrible thing
one
with.
guy you don't want to be like that toward too.
I don't want this dude in my life. Like, keep fucking bringing this shit up. Okay, and I'm gonna ignore it again. Just another thing, like, that was just weird. But she loved him. I get it. We grew up like brothers. She called him her son.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You always say my brother.
Yeah,
you never always say Jamel. You say my brother. You
yeah,
always say that. Still.
It's fucking weird now.
Yeah.
Took this to get a call, but I mean, not a can of worms. I feel like fucking opening.
All right, now you're busy, bro. It's the holidays.
At this point in my life,
shit you're going through. When you're ready, you can always make that call too.
Whatever.
Hopefully he's watching this shit.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No,
I
not
understand
at all.
how you feel.
I'm so lucky to be at this point in my life. Like, this is happening while I'm realizing everything I've ever wanted. Also, we're moving into the house. We're renovating the house. We have the show. I've dropped my clients. We're launching all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm filming on big sets.
Wait, sorry. We have to. The merch drops today. We never even talked about it, Marty.
We'll make a mention.
Yeah, we'll mention it.
I know this wasn't. I don't even feel right putting ads in this fucking video.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like.
But we'll to put
merch. There's merch. Follow Instagram.
We've been working really hard on it, and we're really super proud of it, and we're really excited for it, and we can't wait for you guys to get it. And we pushed really hard to make sure it was out for Christmas.
Yeah,
what we mean to say.
Yeah. Instead of me doing Instagram, and I felt weird. Like, today's the day.
Yeah,
today's our launch day.
How do you drop an ad on this fucking episode?
It's almost impossible.
But we appreciate it.
I don't even mind not doing ads with teleport. Like I said, yesterday. If the ad read partners get weird, like then fucking cancel the contract.
Yeah.
If that's what makes you feel weird, fuck you. And I don't mind it. Let's do double ads and another one. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I'm not tripping over that shit at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Fucking, one thing I don't want to let myself do is just get caught up in. I just want to really keep control of my mind, because when you're in a situation like this, your mind can. Having gone through it before, like, there has to be. I mean, it's normal to grieve. It's normal to do all that, but want to be really mindful of a couple things. I need to this next big chapter of my life. I need to take really good care of myself. Really not just go on stretches of like eating good and exercising and shit and taking care of myself. I need to not let anything come between me and my daughter that she goes through when she's a teenager. Like that's, I need
Next
to,
goals.
I can't let any elephants in the room. I can't let shit go unsaid. And I've been moving like that. I've been very outspoken, but it needs that's the main thing I think to pull from it is like, I never want to have unsaid shit with my kids.
I mean, your kids seem to be pretty stable, bro. Pretty good. Like you're doing fine. You know what I'm saying? You have a backsplash.
Yeah, that was.
You guys are crushing it. I know.
That was yesterday.
Oh.
This is such a fucking first world problem or whatever.
I know. I get it, but it's like
I couldn't tell my kids about this yesterday. We had the people installing the backsplash in my house starting about a half hour after I got the call. So we got, a crew of Mexican dudes down in the main floor of the house all day installing our backsplash, which came out awesome.
the white dude upstairs is screaming at the walls. He's pissed about something. Yeah.
So April had to facilitate that.
Ugh.
While I was just like in my room thinking about all this, and then we didn't tell the kids until nighttime. Yeah, you were nice enough to send some pizzas and shit.
Was it bomb?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I don't know where Rosie ordered it
It
from.
was great. In fact, the pizza showed up at the most iconic time. Like
The guy hit us up, was like, I dropped it at the door. Like, I did.
Yeah.
You knocked?
Ariana's always like, Thomas is the best friend ever.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was big because I was fucking starving. I didn't eat all day until that.
I already knew it. I'm like, you guys are not going to want to cook right now, bro.
We had just, April went and got groceries. We had just pushed our fridge in. They delivered our goddamn I was going to say white people problems. First world problems. They delivered the fucking new fridge we got on sleds, okay? Skis. Imagine it being on two skis that are fucking drilled into it.
Take that off the
We had
slide,
to, it involved 2 trips to Home Depot to get the right ratchet sockets. It involves me tipping back the fucking fridge and April underneath.
while she does it. Oh, no.
So we had the fridge just in the kitchen for a couple of days till we had all that. We just put the fucking fridge back in. So we have a fridge now. And we have the backsplash now. The kitchen is almost done. We got to put the hood up in front of the fucking oven.
Yeah.
And then it'll basically be done. But yeah, we couldn't even really
Basically,
talk
all those
about
guys
it.
were there yesterday.
It wasn't about to, they were all there all day yesterday doing that. And so
just pretending that the kids running. What's up, Dad?
yeah, I know.
Nothing.
That was kind of like that.
Go to the room.
I know.
Leave it alone for a minute.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I
It was
can
fucking like that.
already imagine it. I can already imagine it.
So yeah, we had to tell him last night.
What a predicament to be in. Like, I'll tell you in 12 hours. Fuck.
Yeah, it kind of worked out good
It did. Yeah.
to not have to go through all. April did all the talking. April's just been an angel throughout all this. The whole thing is the fucking through line, basically. She's way more mature than me. She's more.
Wait, you just said that right now, and when April's episode
She
comes
knows
up,
it.
I'm going to bring up this clip. She's more mature than me. On that screen while we all watch it, she goes, yeah, see, motherfucker?
I give her credit for that. She was giving me really solid advice. She's always given me amazing advice from my mom, even when my mom wasn't treating her nicely.
Good.
Which is like who my mom wanted to be, ironically.
Right?
But in her letter, she took out a whole separate section for April, like she should have. She was a fucking angel the whole time, and really was better than I was, because she wasn't all pissed off like I was.
Yeah.
And she was only thinking about the kids. She's better at that than me. She thinks about.
Well, also, she rubbed her grudge holding off on you, too. So It's not all you. It's what you were raised in.
Yeah.
You know?
But
you're growing out of it.
Yeah. I'm actively trying to not be like that.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard, but it's not. You just have to check yourself every time you feel like you're doing some dumb shit.
Yeah, there's a difference between holding a grudge and just not, like, I'm at peace with this situation. We're all good here, but
I just don't care about you as much.
We're not connected anymore.
That's exactly it. Like, move on with your life.
Somebody that we talked about in my first episode reached out to me after it came out.
That's right.
And apologized.
That's right.
And I was like, I really fucking appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Not to say, bam, you're all back in my life again and we're all fucking homeboys, but I'm glad we're both at peace with this and we're not walking around fucking mad over nothing at each other. Because I'm not.
That's crazy, bro.
So yeah, that's the big thing.
Chapters
like that builds
shit.
up over time. I said it earlier that it leads to cancer and shit, or it leads to situations like this where it's like, we don't know what's going on. It's just like, it just builds and manifests in your body, and it's, I think it's part of us being here. That's part of being human is to learn to get through shit like that, hard shit in life. It's part of our job to get through it and not let it take us out.
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a great way to put it. It's a bumper sticker, man.
Yeah, she put in her letter, like, it's, you're here to learn. And when I'm done, I'll have a life review.
Oh, she dropped some insightful shit.
She was put all that in her letter, and I'll look back on the things I could have did better and the things where I had my successes or whatever. I mean, I don't fucking know what happens when you die. I'm not going to act like I do. But in a lot of ways, she had a healthy way of looking at it. But then there was just this next level to it.
Yeah.
That took it to a place of weirdness and like me not knowing what the fuck is going on.
But good, man. I'm glad you got to talk about this.
Yeah. Me too.
This is good shit.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know how much time it's been, but I think if you got everything off your chest, I think that's good. I think anymore, we're just going to start, just start fucking dwelling on your own thoughts and shit.
Yeah. No, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go watch the Bills.
Beat the fuck out of Tom Brady.
Brady. I don't know.
Hopefully, let's see.
Trying to be confident, edit this thing and get it out when it's ready. And we're going to move on to this next episodes. And I'm probably going to have to go to Texas for a while to figure shit out. And I don't know what's going to happen with this attorney situation. The last thing I want to deal with is think about is some malpractice, negligence, lawsuit. But I think that is the case. I don't even want to that's a whole, I haven't even let myself tap into that yet. But the way my aunt was talking about it and April's mom, like,
something fucked up. That's a whole nother thing to worry about right now. Now it's just getting the shit done that you had to get done for personal stuff. So, like I said, when you hire the movers, bro, you don't have to be there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Good shit, man.
Thank you, guys. It's really cool having a community.
Yeah. Especially people that are going through some or have gone through things too.
Because literally one of the first things I thought about was the fucking show.
It's like, well, now you can breathe and shit.
Well, not even about that. Like, it wasn't one of the first things I thought about, but it was just like, damn, we're going to miss an episode. We've never missed. There's no way we were supposed to record yesterday.
I know, but
I'm not, I knew like,
we were going to put up a clip.
Yeah.
But family emergency. Sorry. See you next week.
I was totally ready to not do it.
Yeah.
But I
told you, like, you want to do this?
There's no other time in history that I'll be able to look back at this. My kids will be able to look back at this. Other kids going through this shit will be able to look at it.
Yeah.
There's no other time.
Yes.
It's not like we could address it with our fucking guest.
Yeah, and people are going through the same thing you were going through in high school right now with your dad.
Yeah.
People going through, my fucking cousin Memphis just went through the fucking same thing with my Uncle John.
Yeah.
Like, this shit all same fucking age. Like, yeah, this happens daily. Some people right now are thinking about their friend's dad or their friend's mom. Like, fuck. And then you have to do, you know what I mean? Like, having to console your homies.
I don't even
like,
think about that. I know. I started that yesterday as my boys from Buffalo are messaging me and shit. I'm like, they know her too.
Yeah.
We used to hang out in the basement.
That's your mom, bro. I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, we're getting to that age where it's like, fuck, people, our homies' parents are getting old. Oh, shit. Because you don't think about it when you're 15, 16.
Yeah.
You do not think about that shit. Now it's like, whoa, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm where you're at when I met you.
Shit is crazy, boy.
Yeah. Goes fast.
Fucking thing goes fast,
20s
man.
are slow. After that, it's fucking not. 20s are slow because you're trying to figure out what you're doing.
That's
once you got
true.
your shit
Slow
on
as
your
fuck.
shoulders. Fuck yeah.
I couldn't wait to get out of my 20s.
Get out. I can't. And people ask me, like, you're getting older. Does it feel weird? Like, I don't ever want to be 20s again.
I felt deep in my 30s and my 20s.
Yeah. There you go. Like, about 29, I went, I'm fucking over it. Can I just buy some houses?
Yeah.
I'm over this. I can smoke weed while I'm fucking searching the internet for houses, working on my shit. I'm fucking tired of just smoking weed all day, every day with nothing leaving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was just getting high doing videos, never
You're
making
like
money.
me too, and you don't have that, like, I'm going to go out and party and get that out of my system for a couple years. Man, I went downtown when I was like 19, we'd go down to a club once in a while, and I don't know if I'm weird.
I feel like an asshole.
I feel like an asshole. I feel like something's about to happen. I feel like
I hate it, dude. I'm like, can we just get the fuck out of here?
I'm gonna start dancing.
Can I leave? Can I fucking leave?
Yeah.
That's how I feel every time I go to anything like that.
I feel like I'm gonna stand here and just look like a mean mugging everybody, but I'm really
but I'm really just like, I kind of smoke a joint here.
Yeah.
So. That's how I feel, man. I hate clubs. I hate nightclubs. I hate fucking bars. I don't like that shit.
Yeah,
I don't
had no
go if I have
phase
to.
of that at all.
No, I didn't either.
Even when I was deep in music, I fucking hated clubs.
Yeah, I'm good. For what?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it's cool. Do your thing. But
Yeah.
maybe sometimes. But yeah, I don't know how the fuck we got on that topic. Don't know.
It's all right.
But this has been an episode. I don't know what to call it, but here we are.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate all the fans.
All right. I think we'll close it out.
We'll move on from this, and
Chapter 3.
yeah,
Ready?
it's about to be a whole new chapter. We'll see what happens.
Nothing but positive things, setting more fucking goals, trying to get shit out there. We're gonna crush it, man. We're 1 month away from crushing the fuck out of the next year.
I know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that.
It's really surreal
said it.
It's surreal to know that as a fucking
That's
fact.
a fact. Oh, I'm ready.
Because I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to just be in position.
Yep.
That everything worked out despite all this.
It's working out.
It's crazy how it's like,
I told you, like, these are like monumental points in these numbers and dates and shit coming up on your shit is crazy. The chapters of your life closing and everything's just starting to work. Same here. We're on the same path, bro. You know what I'm saying? But in different ways. I don't know, but yeah, good shit.
cool.
Good episode.
All right, go Bills.
Go Bills. Guys, it's been an episode of the Dope as Usual podcast. Have a dope ass day.
Thought we were gonna smoke way more. I was like, man, I'm about to.
You have about 7 blunts right there.
Yeah.
And you smoked. Perfect.